Today is Saturday, May 2nd, 2026. I'm out here on this beautiful afternoon in the park, just in the peace and the calm and quiet. Grass looks super nice outside today. And yeah, I'm just enjoying this afternoon, sharing my thoughts about life, how things have been. So, over the last couple of months, I've been doing a lot of deep reflection lately. It's still so crazy to me how fast-paced our modern life is going, and you're not really aware of all these things when you're unplugging from the internet for a while. And that's kind of what I did over the last couple of months. I decided to take a very long hiatus from social media, things like Instagram, also YouTube, and really focus on my betterment of my mental health and just my overall health, really. And it's honestly benefited me a lot. I'm definitely feeling some very positive improvement these days. I'm feeling a lot happier, I guess you could say. Last year was a total train wreck for me. If you guys have watched my light share channel with my two buddies, I kind of discuss sort of the trajectory I was going down in 2025, especially towards the later end of the year. The beginning of the year was pretty okay. The last part of the year took a very dark downturn in my life, and I'll just kind of briefly describe, what happened. So I had a lot of nervous system distress going on. There's a lot of negative stuff happening around the world. Especially on social media, my algorithm was constantly bombarding me with a lot of negative content. And so it wasn't something that I wanted to engage in, but it was something that just kind of came into my field of view. And it was really hard to escape from that because I was so pulled in and invested in to the news and what was happening around the world. And as we know, a lot of that stuff affects your mental health really poorly. Yeah, it just took me a couple months to realize what was happening. But during the time, I didn't actually know how damaging that was to me until, I started getting a lot of panic attacks. I started feeling more anxiety. I started feeling more cynical and angry to a lot of people around me. And overall, I was creating this hostile environment inside my mind, and it was poisoning me from the inside out. This negative content I was consuming was, a lot of it wasn't really affecting my day-to-day life. I mean, my day-to-day life looks pretty much like this. A lot of peace, a lot of nature. So I'm not really too affected by what's going on directly that's happening in the world right now. I consider myself pretty lucky and privileged to live a life that's not affected by a war or something like that, or famine. So I truly believe that I'm in a blessed position. But I was in the news, in the feeds, like, for example, you see stuff like people dying or people getting killed, just very gruesome stuff, and I was very invested into that stuff. I know that sounds kind of like messed up, but that's what happens when you kind of sink your teeth into the algorithm and you're not able to escape that. So I think it was really dangerous for me during that time. I started, getting those panic attacks and those anxiety flare-ups, in my mind and stuff. My nervous system was completely out of whack, towards the end of the year. I lost at least 10 pounds just from not eating properly. I was having digestive issues, and it all stemmed from my out of whack nervous system. So this whole time I had health anxiety, and I thought, maybe I stressed so much over whatever was going on. During this time too, not only was I consuming a lot of this stuff, but I was also having a lot of turbulent issues within my family as well. Just a lot of personal life stuff that was going on, and it really stressed me out. So I figured that all that stress combined with the negative consumption of social media and the news and, Instagram Reels and all that stuff, it started to compound slowly, bit by bit. And then rapidly, my body basically just shut down on itself. And so because I couldn't eat properly, lost all that weight, and I felt like I was mentally slowly dying inside. It was scary for me. It was not something I expected. I was training a lot, I was working out, eating right, but my nervous system was terrible and my mental health was in the trash bin. I went to doctors and stuff, got it all checked out. They said everything was fine. Thank the Lord. Nothing was wrong with my stomach. My stomach was structurally intact. Nothing was damaged inside. But I put two and two together and I realized it was all inside my mind. My mind was the culprit behind a lot of these, traumatic situations that was going on day to day towards the end of the year. And, my family couldn't figure it out. My parents, just was asking what was wrong with me. I couldn't even figure out. And then, in the beginning of 2026, that's when I started to align myself more with God and my faith. And I started going to church more in 2026. And not that I didn't realize at the time, but in 2025, I was definitely haunted by a lot of, I guess you could say, demons. A lot of spiritual attacks were happening to me, especially in my sleep. Couldn't sleep a lot of nights, would wake up at 3 a.m. and have like panic sweats, and adrenaline and cortisol just rushing through my brain and my body. It was terrible. It was like such a mess, and I couldn't fall back asleep. So that freaked me out a bit. I figured it was because, I strayed away from God for so long, and, spiritually I was unwell and not well rested. And so that made me realize I had to align myself with the Lord again and pray and meditate and do all the things that I need to do to strengthen my faith even more. That turbulence pretty much woke me up and I needed a way out. So 2026 has gone a lot better for me, I would say. And I definitely feel more at peace. It's still a work in progress. Healing the nervous system takes a very long time, from what I've read. Especially if it's dysregulated, it takes up to several months to a year to heal the whole nervous system, especially if it's gone through all of these poor habits. My posture was also pretty messed up as well. So I'm fixing that, trying to fix the tech neck, the forward head posture, and just bringing my shoulders back and keeping my head straight as well to enhance my digestion too. So yeah, from what I have to say is, limit your social media time. If you're feeling anxious, stay off of that stuff, man. Like, as humans, we don't need to know 1,000 things that are going on in whatever's happening in the world. We're fed so much content every day that our brain can't even process it, and it basically implodes on itself. So do yourself a favor, go touch some grass like I'm doing right now. Enjoy the outdoors, enjoy nature, and step away from the screens. It's easier said than done, but it can really save you from a whole bunch of mental health breakdown, that sort of stuff. So yeah, guys, I wish you good health this year. Keep training hard, keep improving yourself, strengthen your faith and spirit, and everything will be very well for you. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.